Hello, one and all, and welcome to a colorful and spooky episode of the Brewing Labs. Now, for this one, we're doing rainbow skeletons. So basically, we have skeleton swarming in here, mostly just a way to buff up all of our skeletons. We're also playing a variety of skeletons, such as Demi-Lich, as well as Flame Skull and Moss Pit Skeleton. So, pretty much, we're trying to put all those into a deck. How do we do that? Well, we're kind of a free color deck that is splashing the two colors to be able to play the Demi-Lich and Flame Skull, which in this case, it's kind of like an Absent color deck design. So the way we're doing this is, pretty much our curve goes like this. We have some early game removal with Blood Cheese first, but we're also playing Eye Twitch to help us access to the Learn package, as well as another card in the deck that allows us that we have to splash a little bit of white forward to essentially get it. We're also playing Deadly Dispute, just a good card draw engine, as well as being able to sacrifice a creature which can help us with Skeletal Swarming to make more skeletons. Edgewar Innkeeper, just very synergistic in this deck. We're going to be constantly getting skeletons out with Skeletal Swarming, so getting a life gain is very nice. 2 Vanishing Verse. I kind of wanted to go free with this, but I wanted to make sure to keep with the theme of the skeletons and such, so... But still, one of the best kind of like standard removals at the moment. We're also playing Moss Pit Skeleton. This is one of our first skeletons, just essentially a skeleton we can kick to have counters on it. But also, if we put counters on a creature we control, we could put this card, if it's in the graveyard, on top of our library. We do have a way to actually do that with one of our other skeletons in the deck, which is Bloodwine Pretender. We're going to choose skeletons, and anytime when a creature, aka skeleton, enters the battlefield, we are going to put a +1/+1 counter on this. You can probably see where this is going. So we put a counter on Bloodwine Pretender, it gets bigger for each skeleton we play, but also if we need to get the Moss Pit Skeleton out of the graveyard, we can do just that. Also, the other cards that we're running to help us with this skeleton-based package, we're running 2 Estica, God of the Tree, mostly just because it's a nice mana dork in itself, but we don't play that many legendary creatures. Primarily, we're playing it because, well, if I'm being legit honest with you, if we're playing a 5-color deck, I really wanted to have access to Prismatic Braid since it allows us to play our creatures from our library and such and get like all of our skeletons out on the battlefield. Very nice. Flame Skull, just a nice free one aggressive flyer that when it dies, you can actually exile this as well as the top card of your library and play whichever card you choose. This is very nice because it's a kind of a recursive threat, but if the skeleton is not doing much and we would rather play the other card, we have that opportunity. Also playing Poison the Cup, just really good removal in general to help us remove some problematic creatures, including the man lands. Then we're playing Sparring Regiment as our other way to access the Learn package. This is just really nice because it allows us to learn, but also whenever we attack, we put a +1/+1 counter on a target attacking creature and untap it. One of the things, the con with Skeletal Swarming is with all your skeletons, you have to attack with all of them, so that leaves you defenseless. However, with Sparring Regiment, we can untap one of our attacking skeletons, give it a +1 counter, and as long as it doesn't get traded through combat, we can actually keep that one alive for blockers, essentially. Then, we're running the Demi-Lich. Mostly this is here just because it's a skeleton, but also its abilities are very relevant. Being able to cast it from the graveyard is very nice, but also being able to recast our early game spells, such as a Deadly Dispute, maybe even a Blood Cheese first from the graveyard, does not hurt, but also just being able to replay this from the graveyard if we don't mind exiling spells from our graveyard, great. As well as being able to replay our Learn package, very, very nice. We're running 2 Esca's Chariot, mostly because this is one of the more powerful standard cards as well, but it also is really synergistic with our deck design. We can essentially get the cat tokens, but also be able to copy like skeleton tokens and such, which is really nice. And also, if we need to, we can copy other tokens. Maybe we need to copy a treasure, stuff like that, etc., etc. Then, since we do have some non-skeleton cards in the deck, the way we're going to make them into skeletons is Maskwood Netses. This helps us make skeletons, technically speaking, but also makes all of our creatures into skeletons, which is really, really great with Skeletal Swarming. Also, it has a little combo here since it's all creature types, they're technically also gods, so of course in my land base I put Free of the Willow Tree to help us justify the 5-color mana base, as well that if we get to the point of the late game, we can just use this, activate the ability, and bring all of our creatures onto the battlefield at the end of the opponent's turn. And if a Skeletal Swarming is out, we are probably going to do good in the wins, so to speak. Now, you might notice that our land base is very, very interesting. This is a test with this one. I decided to try a non-snow-based deck at the moment, so we're pretty much running all the dual pathways, or at least a majority of them, that are within our color design. We're running 4 Hingegate pathways. We're running 4 Blightcrime pathways. We're playing 4 Clearwater pathways. We're playing 2 of the Blightstep pathways, 4 of the Darkboar pathways, and 3 of the Cragcrown pathways. This is mostly because I wanted to test to see what happens if we can try something that is non-basic, non-snowland mana. So pretty much we're hoping we don't go against the land destruction deck, so fingers crossed on that. But mostly it's just a test to see how these pathways will do within a 5-color deck design. I was really curious to experiment that, so we're going to do that experiment. Now, before we go on, let's talk about the lesson package. As stated before, since we're not running any basics within our deck design, obviously environmental science is not in here, but I decided to go with a one-of with each lesson in here. We have Teaching the Archaics, just good card draw engine if we pretty much go Hellbent. Necrotic Fumes, just a good unconditional removal. As long as we have a creature on the battlefield, which with Skeletal Swarming, we're probably going to have a creature on the battlefield. Containment Breach, just good artifact enchantment removal. Pest Summonings gets us some tokens on the battlefield that can also help us stall off some aggro. Introduction Prophecy for some card draw and scry. Confront the Past for Planeswalker removal, primary for this deck since we're not running any Planeswalkers whatsoever. I could definitely see you wanting to maybe try to justify putting some Loaths in this deck design and such, but primary, we're using this for removal. And Mascot Exhibition, because it's just a really, really good card, generating a wide board presence that if we have Masquerade Nexus on the battlefield, all those are going to become skeletons, which are very, very synergistic. And that is Rainbow Skeletons. So let's play a few games on ladder and see what shenanigans it's going to provide. Shall we? Okay, let's see. What shenanigans are they going to provide us next? Bada beep, bada boop. Okay, do we like this hand? I mean, we have access to the World Tree. The problem is we don't really have any of our 1-drops. If we can draw into another source of red mana, we can play Flame Skull. I do think we mulligan this, though. There we go. Lot better. We have Eye Twitch, we have Deadly Dispute. We could even take one of the Deadly Disputes and put it back. We could even just take, actually, potentially, the land back, and then just play with the Deadly Disputes. Actually, I think I like that a lot better. So, we're gonna play this, play the Eye Twitch. Oh boy, our opponent's playing mono blue, potentially, or blue-black control. Usually when you see them playing this manland here, they're usually playing control. Yep, blue-black control. Okay. I think here we just go on the aggro, we wait for them to try to remove one of our Eye Twitches in Deadly Dispute. Not drawing into a land is a little bit oof, but like I stated before, we're waiting for our opponent to remove it. There we go. No, opponent. We're going to go get, I believe in this matchup, it's better to actually get the Confront the Past, because usually these control shells, they run Planeswalkers as their primary threats. So it's better that we have that online and ready, so to speak. Here, we did get the land, so I'm going to play this. There is an argument to just play the Prosperous Innkeeper now. But I think we better hold. Okay, another Foretell. This could be the discard spell, but this could also just be another Poison the Cup. So, yet again, I think the play here is attack in. See if they try to remove it. They did not. So, we're going to attempt to play the Prosperous Innkeeper here. This could also just be a solid coming, potentially, so they might just counter this. They decided not to counter. But yeah, we're just going to hold on the mana since we kind of need it. First, that's interesting. I didn't know they were playing the wall runes. Or maybe this is like an upgraded version of the beginner Demir control deck? That could be a possibility. But yeah, I'm not going to do the Deadly Dispute yet since they're still holding that spell up, so that could be a variety of things. Still, I do think we play Prosperous Innkeeper number 2. Get some treasure, get some life. And yet again, just swing in the air for 1 and see if our opponent has removal. They could be also having blood on the snow, so maybe that's why they're playing Wall of Runes, just as something to reanimate if they don't have, like, creatures and such, or planeswalkers. I could definitely see that. Speaking of which, well, as stated before, that's the reason why we're holding on this, so we're gonna do this. What to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I want to get the Introduction to Prophecy here, believe it or not. So yeah, they're gonna reanimate their skeleton. That allows them to scry. Makes sense. I could definitely see the logic in our opponent's action here. Here, then, I think our play is, well, a few things. Actually, this is kind of cute. So, we can do Blood Cheese first. We can then, actually, I think I'll play the blue source of this. Then play Introduction to Prophecy. Do we need this second land source? We do need the white mana, so yes, I believe the answer is yes to that. And then we can actually play the Demi-Lich. Okay, that was actually a pretty cool sequence of plays. Not gonna lie. And the best part is, we don't really have anything to play. And if our opponent doesn't remove the Demi-Lich, we can just essentially attack with it, recast one of our spells from our graveyard if necessary. But they're playing blue-black control. I would be very surprised if they don't have a way to remove this. Guys, okay. No removal yet. Let's see. 6 mana to activate this. They don't have enough mana to activate the Manland just yet. There we go. So they decided to go with the Baleful Mastery approach. Okay, so we can't reanimate it. Okay, that makes sense. In that case, I think the play here is we're going to play Sparring. Well, first, get the white mana source out. Play the Sparring Regiment. Yep. Blue-black control player all the way through. But we do got him down to a significant less amount of cards. So that's really nice. But on the other side of the coin, they do have the man land, so they're probably going to... Yep, saw that coming. Oh, wait. Did they... 1, 2... Oh, oops. Okay, yeah, opponent did a misplay there, and I didn't even saw it, so I can't really say anything. Their misplay, for those who didn't notice, is they didn't realize they need 1 more mana to activate the man land, so... Lucky enough here, we have enough lands that we can use the treasure here just to mask what Nets is. Though, there is an argument, there is a world where we just wait till we get to the 10 mana on this and just bring out all the things, so hold the treasure up. Which in this case we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have 3 lands, so there is a world where we just hold on, so to speak. You know, living on a prayer, etc., etc., etc. Well, we'll play the green side. And honestly, here, we're just not really going to... I'm curious to see what our opponent does here. Okay, there's the Mortar Canaan. Are they going to use the draw, or are they going to make the doggo?
You can't even comprehend what I'll do to you.
They decided to do the draw. Makes sense. We're actually going to make the token at the end of their turn.
Requires insight.
But like I said, we have the blood cheese first here, so we even have to confront the pass actually, which that might just be the play here. Anyway, we're gonna make a little friend. Skeleton friend. Ooh. Okay, so that's 7. Okay, let's do some math here. For this, we would have to do 4, so this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Honestly, I think here I kind of want to debate the counterspell. There we go. Because then we can do this. One benefit about these control matchups, they don't really run that much non-land or non-creature, non-land permanent removal, so unless this is one of the rare matchups that they're playing that 2-cost sorcery spell that makes you destroy an enchantment, but you have to lose life equal to its mana cost. Which, that's a possibility. Okay, so they're going to draw, probably because they want to hold on to counterspell, since they know we have Confront the Pass here. We're probably going to see some foretelling in a minute. There we go. There's the first foretell, as predicted. Well, we'll see what we're going to get from our slot machine of the Prismatic Bridge. Eye Twitch. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. So here... let's see. So this has to be 5. So, yep. Time to play the game of, does our opponent have the counter magic? That they did. Well, then here, what I think I'm going to do is play the Bloodline Pretender. Hope they don't have the second one. We're going to name Skeleton. Not attack in. We can attack in with a flyer inevitably to keep this in check if we need to. Actually, technically speaking, we could attack in with the team theoretically. Let's see. So we need 11 mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 more lands, and we can actually activate that. Okay, what are you going to bring back? Scryer, makes sense. They get a tracker out of it, makes sense. Here, honestly, teaching the Archaics.
Your tiny mind couldn't possibly grasp my research.
I did not sell that one, Kevin. Well, there we go. We got a friend. A skeleton friend! And then we can play this on any color, to be honest, because we're just going to do this.
My power is limitless.
Okay, opponent. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, we can actually... Okay, opponent. Fair enough. I got an idea. Okay. We gotta end the turn, create some skeleton friends. See if our opponent has a response, since they have about 44 cards in hand. They probably do. Makes sense. Okay, opponent. Cast away. That would be lethal, I would agree, opponent. However... everything's a god! So, we get you... Sure. And let's see here. Oh, sure. We can take 15 damage. Oh, wait. I forgot Sandafar was attacking. Well, we're still going to keep this clip in because we did show the shenanigans of bringing everything in, but that is what we call an oops. Whoopsies. This is where I do the quote maps for blockers quote. Okay, so let's see. What shenanigans are opponents doing today? Okay. Black Source of Mana. I Twitch. Removal. We keep. And we even have 2 red if we draw into a Flame Skull, essentially. Okay, we play a little I Twitch. Let's see what our opponent plays here. I'm smelling some rogues. Or actually not. It could still be rogues. Interesting. Anyway, we're going to play this on the Clackround Pathway, swing in for 1 again. Pound the Poison Cup to hold up the removal. We're probably going to play this on the... A misplay that I've been noticed tonight is I always want to make sure we have the second black mana source, so we can Blood Cheese first, so... I'm gonna see and not try to make that misplay. Oh, almost made a misplay there. Okay. I'm gonna learn. Let's see. Judging by our opponent's hand size. Yeah, I think this is a time where teaching the archaics is actually the good draw here. It doesn't look like much, since we are going to be drawing 2 cards, but for later down the line, if our opponent's like playing a control shell of sorts, I think that's the best play. Okay, so here, we're going to play Prosperous Innkeeper. Then play Prosperous Innkeeper, number 2. Gain some life. Hold up our removal spell. Or do we want to? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If your opponent has more cards in hand. Yeah, after this spell resolves, they will have 4 more cards, so I think drawing 3 cards here is pretty good. Oh, they're a ramp deck of sort. They might be like a Coma ramp deck, potentially. There's a key. Here, this one's pretty simple. We just... one... Opponent's got to play here. They might have a negate in hand. Okay. We will pay the 1, opponent. Bye-bye, a chariot. We already got the world tree, so we really don't need a second one. And I think here we just play this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we do have enough that we can still play this no matter what, so we'll do just that. And sure, we'll play the skeleton now. Gain some life. Swing in for 2. And we will block. Ba-doop. See if they have a trick up their sleeves. Yeah, there's the Coma. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're first going to take care of this. We're gonna wait till the sack is on the stack. Sack's on the stack. Bye-bye, Coma. Play another Eye Twitch. Gain some life. swing in for free. Okay, that's the world tree. Here, we're gonna play this. We're going to go get the necrotic fumes. Play this. Necrotic fumes this. We'll exile one of our innkeepers here because flying might be necessary since it looks like our opponent is going more in the realm of big stuff. We'll make one of our flyers bigger. That way we can put our skeleton friend and be able to kick the skeleton friend next turn. Oh, that's an orange epiphany if I ever smelled one. So yeah, we're gonna attack in with the eye twitches. See how many Auron's epiphanies they activate. Our opponent's thinking. They decide to go swing in. I think we'll block and see what happens here. Let's see what trick they have up their sleeve. Okay, so it's a found spell. Proudly to get Mascot Exhibition, if I had to make a guess. No, Containment Breach. Okay, I see. They want to destroy the Sparring Regiment. Okay, that makes sense. Sparring Regiment's gonna go bye-bye. Sparring Regiment goes bye-bye. But they don't have a reach, and we won the game. Okay, first game we win tonight is one that we didn't play that many skeletons. I wonder if that's saying anything. And that is Rainbow Skeletons. Honestly, we didn't did that well tonight, but I did find some fun interactions and such. We did have the sweet interaction with Masquerade Nexus and being able to bring out all the creatures. We could have even almost won that game, but that was a misplay on my part. Still, nevertheless, you could definitely improve this list a little bit, I would say. Like, you could definitely go more into the jankier theme and just throw in every skeleton you can think of. Stuff like the Sanitarium, Chattering Skeletons, even put in the Skeleton Lord, even though technically it can't work, so to speak. Then just essentially go on to the skeletons. But I would say if you do go with skeleton approach, I think it's more better to either go into a Jun or an Absent variation rather than trying to go into Rainbow. Because while Dimity Lich is a really good card, I do think this is a deck card you want to put in its own list rather than trying to put it into this type of list. Like, you think it would synergize well with Skeletal Swarming, and while it kind of does, it kind of does not at the same time. I definitely am going to keep an eye on this card, since it seems like we're going to get a lot more spells to be able to cast when Innistrad Midnight Hunt comes out tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, brain fart. The spoiler season starts out, but Midnight Hunt comes out later September, so something to keep in mind. Nevertheless, I hope you all have a lovely day. The deck list will be down below. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I hope you all have a lovely day. As they say, hip hip hooray.